Dr. Joe Dispenza's #1 success habit. In this video, I'm going to share with you a very powerful secret that will transform your life forever. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. So who is Dr. Joe Dispenza? Well, he is a doctor, he's a writer, a speaker. He's an incredible human being who I first came across in a film that I saw in the 90s called What the Bleep Do We Know? And it was all about quantum physics, and I didn't really understand everything. In fact, a lot of it went straight over my head. But what he was talking about, and the other people in the film were talking about, was the science of possibility. The science of the fact that there's only one thing that exists in the universe, and that is possibilities. And what I want to dive into in this video is one of the most powerful parts of possibility thinking, and that's called gratitude. And we're going to look at gratitude 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Dr. Joe Dispenza is the author of some incredible books. You Are the Placebo, Breaking the Habit of Being You, and Becoming Supernatural. And I've followed his work for over 20 years, and I can tell you that his principles, his ideas, his thinking is totally revolutionary, especially when it comes to gratitude. So what is his #1 success habit? It's the art of being grateful for your future. It's the art of being grateful for the person that you could become. It's the art of being grateful for the things that you want to achieve in your life. Feeling the gratitude right here, right now. But first off, what is gratitude? Well, you can go and Google it and you'll see for yourself. It really means to be thankful, to have appreciation. You could also then go and Google the word appreciation, and you'll see that appreciation means being thankful and also increasing in value. Look, human beings have a real habit of focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, what they haven't got. And if we do that, it tends to lead to feelings of lack, feelings of worry, fear, stress, anxiety. In fact, Dr. Joe talks about that 70% of adults really spend most of their time in stress. And if you spend time in stress, thinking stressful thoughts, being in stressful environments, you feel stress in the body, and it shuts down parts of the brain that really are responsible for looking at what is working. Because ultimately, if you're focusing on what's wrong and you're focusing on what's missing, you tend to attract more of it. So when we look at gratitude, I want to look at it from 3 different steps. The first step, gratitude 1.0, is just becoming aware. Aware of the power that gratitude has. And there have been many studies done on this. There's a fantastic book by Robert Emmons, and it's all about gratitude. And what it's shown is that people who practice it, they have more energy, they feel better, they exercise longer, they live longer, they sleep better. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. But why is gratitude so powerful? Well, it's a state. It's a state where you're thankful for what you have. In fact, what Dr. Joe talks about is the emotional signature of happiness is being thankful. And when we look at gratitude 3.0, this will make more sense to you. But if you want to change your life, the first thing you've got to do, if you want to use gratitude as a vehicle for you being more optimistic, for you being happy, having more energy, you've got to become aware of its power. That's 1.0. 2.0 is practicing. And this is a key thing. It's the practice of gratitude. And there are so many people that know. But to know and to not do is to not know. And what Dr. Joe talks about is there is so much knowing in the world right now. There's so much information that's available to us, on something called the internet. The information vehicles for us are just endless. But it's not just about the knowing, it's about the know-how. And to really practice gratitude, it can't be just a mental thing, like, oh yeah, I know that, and writing something down with no emotion. And this is what Dr. Joe really brings to the table. He explains that the mind is the conscious part of us, and our unconscious is our body. Now, what does that mean? Look, everything we do as human beings really is governed by feelings. We love to feel good. We like to avoid feeling things that are difficult and uncomfortable. But the power that we have is in our thoughts. So you could think something like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I feel really stressed. Those thoughts produce emotions, and those emotions produce feelings. And we have those feelings in our body. So if you think, I don't feel like doing something, you won't feel like doing it, because the thoughts will produce emotions that will produce feelings that will then convince you that you were right for having that thought. So 2.0 of gratitude is to practice it, but emotionally feel the things that you're grateful for. So right now, I'm extremely grateful for you watching this video. In the future, I can imagine you watching this, and I can think about that and think gratefully, but I want to feel it. And I can feel it in my body right now. I can feel it so much that I could turn it up. The more I think about it, the more I feel. But it is a practice. And if we don't practice this, it's very easy for us to go to a default setting, which I think a lot of people have, which is to be stressful, to be worried, to be anxious, to think in a way where our mind plays tricks on us. And unless we learn to focus our mind goes to where it's been before. So to retrain ourselves, to reinvent ourselves. I often say that the greatest thing we will ever do is the conscious decision in who we want to be. But the conscious decision, we want to feel that. And that leads us to gratitude 3.0, which is really where we bring the #1 success habit of Dr. Joe Dispenza to life. And that's being grateful for things that you want to do in the future, things you want to have in the future, but I would say the person that you want to be in the future. As Gandhi said, to be the change that you want to see in the world. He obviously knew that he needed to be someone different. And he started to behave in that way, but to be thankful for the person that he was becoming. So he could feel an emotional connection to that person. Stephen Bartlett, who's the youngest ever dragon on Dragon's Den, he's got a very famous podcast, The Diary of a CEO. I introduced him at an event, and he said when he was 15, he knew who he was pursuing. He knew who he needed to be. Another great example of this is Mr. Beast, the most successful YouTuber maybe of all time, with over 100 million subscribers. 7 years ago, he made a series of videos. And in those videos, he's talking to his future self. And he scheduled those videos to go out 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. He was emotionally connecting to his future self, to be thankful for the person that he was becoming. You see, when you do this, you're not living in lack. You're not living in a need. You're living in an abundance. The abundance that what you have is what you have. It's what you need. Who you're becoming, it's already there. It takes the stress out of it. It's a big shift. It's a big leap for people. And I can't thank Dr. Joe Dispenza enough for all of his work. All of the work that he's done to give people a different perspective of possibilities. If you go outside tonight and you can look up at the stars, you'll just see that the only thing that exists in the universe is possibilities. The possibilities of who we can become. And if you can get your head around this, you'll change everything. You'll feel you are your future. You'll feel you are living your future today. It makes doing all of the hard work and all of the dedication that is obviously necessary for human beings to achieve. If we don't feel this connection, which the majority of people in the world don't, they don't have empathy for their future self. They have empathy for themselves today, tomorrow. They're not investing in the best investment that you will ever make is the person that you will become. So Dr. Joe Dispenza's #1 success habit is being thankful for the future you want to manifest. Are you ready to take you to a place you've never been before? Check out the YouTube video that we did all about Mr. Beast, because that also really explains the science of future self thinking. Comment below, let us know what's your biggest takeaway from this #1 success habit of Dr. Joe Dispenza. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.